Noon, and you know what that means. It's time for Randominity with the Random Christian Show. Today, the Random Christian Show is interviewing Leah Aguayo from Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena. Do you love shameless promotion of your product or brand? Are you looking to branch into alternative marketing opportunities? Do you want two random hosts to pump your product and brand for 2 hours every Tuesday? Presenting sponsor packages for the Random Christian Show are available now. Just email therandomchristianshow@gmail.com for more information. The Random Christian Show is proudly supported by The Advisor. The Advisor is a Facebook group curated by Colonel James Neal Broadus, composed of multi-talent such as actors, directors, artists, writers, and more. If you fall into this category, contact them on Facebook at The Advisor. The Random Christian Show can now be seen on the Good Wives Network, TV for women by women. The Good Wives Network starts streaming March 1st over on Roku, Android TV, and at thegoodwivesnetwork.com. Intro music provided by the Dead Campers. Check them out on Spotify and at deadcampers.com. Next week, the Random Christian Show is interviewing Trip U-Halt from Oxymorons Comedy. My name is Andy, and now here's your host, Christian Random. Are you still eating Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena?
Maybe. Is it showtime?
It's showtime. Quit stuffing your face.
Pardon. Welcome. It's Thursday. It's Tuesday. And Thursday was last week when we did our taste test.
Last week we did, yes. Correct.
You can't really see it because there's a glare. Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena. It's so delicious. Everybody who's had it, who's sampled it, has been like, oh my gosh, this is really good. And then I'm like, okay, well, that's all you get. And, no more. Dude, I've only got these 3 containers and I know
you've been hoarding it.
I've totally been. Well, and tonight we're making fajitas. So
right.
A lot of this is going to go the way of the dodo. But
we're doing our second round of tacos since acquiring Mrs. A salsa tonight.
Yes,
it's Tuesday.
That's awesome.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday. Taco Tuesday or Fajita Tuesday.
No, that doesn't work. Fajita Friday.
There's a silent T at the beginning of fajitas. in the ancient Mayan words of fajitas.
You know what? My mom had a silent T in front of her maiden name. No, her last name was a TJ, but it was all you said was the J.
Dieris?
No, it was Jovinus, but it was.
Okay.
But they called my my papu, my grandfather, Tommy TJ, but yeah, but the last name was technically Jovinus. Anyway,
I'm still eating chips. So I don't care.
Yeah, that's okay.
No. Okay.
But no, I'm well aware of the fact, but no, you have fajitas on Friday. You don't have fajitas on Tuesday because it's Taco Tuesday. You're breaking the system right now.
And hey,
I
don't play by your rules, Mr. Man.
Well, okay, my rules are the accepted rules. I'm playing by the accepted rules. There's a code, and you do not have fajitas on Tuesday. I'm sorry. No fajitas on Tuesday.
Keep falling into the white man's plan. Go ahead. Yeah. You just keep playing by his game. I break all the rules. Well, you can ask Mrs. A about that because
that's right. Yeah.
I think I got kicked out of her class a couple times too. So welcome to it. It is the Random Christian Show. It's Tuesday, 4:00 somewhere at some point in time, a few minutes ago. I am Christian.
Tuesday.
That guy over there, that's Andy. And we are excited to be with you. A lot of you who are tuning in to hear Fancy and Amanda from the Good Wives Network. Unfortunately, they had a situation arise that they are not able to be with us, but they have rescheduled. We will have them on right after the lunch and a week before, actually. Fancy's going to be with us to talk about the grand launch of the Good Wives Network, or GWN, as the call it. So we are very, very excited for that. We are very sorry that they are not here with us, and hope everything will eventually work out here soon for them and all that they've got going on. So we wish everybody all the best. We love you gals, and we will be talking with you soon. So take care of yourselves and get things going right. So yes, lots of things going on. Like you said, Trip U-Haul, Oxymorons Comedy. He's excited.
Yeah.
He's already posting stuff all over the place. About being on the show and stuff. And it's gonna be a lot of fun with Trip.
Yeah, I'm excited for that interview.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be a good time. Lots of sports happening, so we're gonna get Tommy the Truth on here in just a minute. Just wanted to say thank you for everybody who has been listening to the show, especially on Spreaker Prime. That is very huge every time you listen. Yes, there are a few commercials here and there, but there's commercials in everything nowadays, no matter what.
Right.
And if there isn't, then maybe you
got to pay the bill somehow.
Right. And we are trying so that 1 point or 0.0001 of a cent every time there's a commercial listened to.
Yeah.
We get.
That's right.
We get that. And
that is money in our pockets.
That we won't collect till we pass the $10 mark. And we're actually getting close.
Yeah, it's been a tortoise sprint to this.
Well, and so the whole reason about this is I'm announcing Andy's son Xander is collecting money. What's he collecting the money for?
Yeah, so it's for the
and now I get to eat some more chips.
Yeah, every year they do a fundraiser for it's for the American Heart Association, and it's just the Kids Heart Challenge. And a lot of the schools do this. My son has done this every year since we've been at the school that we've been at. Because of my decently sized Facebook network, Xander has been towards the top of the donations every year. So last year he kind of blew it out by $100. Like he was the top by over I think he raised over $500 and something last year. And again, this literally through nickel and dime donations from my friends on Facebook. Dude, which is incredible.
Can we get them to donate to us?
Yeah, I know, right? So anyway, it's the American Heart Association, and again, it's called
which is a far better cause than this show.
The Kids Heart Challenge, and if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you can donate to it. You can find the thing on there, and again, all the money goes to the AHA. So it's a wonderful cause.
Yeah, and that's what we're here for. And that's so basically, like I said, through this thing through Spreaker, I can't stop eating. Okay. All right, I'm putting it away until we talk with Leah.
Okay, that's good call. Good call.
Okay, yeah, wise move. So yeah, basically, like I said, there's every time you hear a commercial while you're listening to the show on the Spreaker Prime, or I think it's even iHeartRadio, right?
Yeah. So anywhere you listen to the audio version of our podcast, you hear an ad. That's again money in our pocket, quote unquote. But
point 0.00001 cent.
Yeah. So, and as with any rev share, when we make a certain amount, we're able to withdraw that money. We're close to being able to withdraw some money. And if we get to that benchmark, we can.
I said we would donate it to Xander's.
Yeah, we can donate to the HA, and so so if it works out, we'll figure that out. So
if we get enough listens, which actually we really are starting to get a lot more listeners, so it's actually picking up a lot more since we started this. What we joined with Spreaker about 6 months ago, wasn't it?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
So. And it was very slow going at first, and then we picked up, and we're getting more people listening, and it's which we love y'all. Thank you so very much. Anyway, that's boring now, but
Yeah.
that's where all that money's going to go if
Yeah.
we ever achieve that climactic point on the dial there. Anyway, Andy, how's everything else going in the Pacific Northwest? All is well.
It's good. My son has COVID now, which is fantastic.
Give him some Mrs. A's Salsa Buena.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna cure him. We're gonna cure him. But so yeah, I'm on the tail end of my little bout with it. I still get
Because
honestly. Oh, don't drop it. You dropped it, didn't you? He dropped the salsa. Oh yeah, I know. Big old fail. Thanks fail.
Thanks to the good
to the solid construction of the
the container. It only leaked
of the container. We're okay. I think we're good. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be good. So yeah, no, I'm on the tail end of my symptoms. I'm feeling a lot better, but yeah, the kiddos home from school. Luckily, it's a conference week, so he's not missing that much school.
Piece of cake.
Yeah, piece of cake. We got this. We got this. Yeah. So okay. All right. Clean up in the studio.
Clean up aisle 5.
Clean up in the studio. This just in, the Random Christian Show is looking for a janitor.
Janitorial services. It's only
so if you have
what
it takes to be the Random Christian Show janitor, please apply over at therandomchristianshow.com under careers.
Oh my God. And possibly podcast host. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So see, and I knew it. I missed one little spot.
You never,
and I stepped in it.
No, that's okay. That's okay. But the studio.
He's okay.
Hey.
All right.
All right.
Welcome to my evil lair. All right. So, okay. Hey, by the way, if you want a hat, $25, hit me up at the randomchristianshow.com or gmail.com. All right. So I'm very excited because I want to talk to Tommy about our sports picks and stuff. Yeah, we now have a sports segment on the show. What's up? That's how cool we're getting.
Yeah.
So and I even got some cool. Yeah. Hello,
oh, yeah.
J. Sup? That's right.
It's the sport of kings, better than mountain rings. That's why we're here to sing football.
Yeah. Yeah, football.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Trivia.
Oh.
What was this movie for? What was this from? What movie was this from?
Oh, I know. Where's my dinger?
Do you remember the names like Bronco Nagurski and Night Train?
Hold on. I need the. There.
Okay.
Alex, what is Wildcats?
Oh, yes. Nice. Who played the coach in that movie?
Oh. Who is Goldie Hawn?
Oh, he's 2 for 2. All right. Now, the third and final question for all of the money. Okay. Who played the quarterback that was replaced halfway through the season?
Who is Woody Harrelson?
3 for 3. Nice.
Yes! Oh, that's not the applause button. That was the awe button. Oh, damn it. There it is. There's the applause button. Yes.
Well done.
Thank you. I love that movie. I thought it was
that's
great.
a classic movie, man. Great job.
Plus there's a boob shot of Goldie Hawn in there. So
in the bath. That's right.
Yep.
80s was
okay.
80s was a different time, man.
It was. And I was a
Hold
young
on.
guy, and I remember it on scrambled HBO, and I'd be like trying to hold the buttons, just trying to be like, I saw the boob. So
yeah.
And I had to write a letter to Kurt Russell because I felt bad.
Did you feel dirty? You feel dirty afterwards?
I'm sorry. I saw your wife's boob. I love you too, dude. Not in that way, but I love you.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so yeah. All right. So anyway, oh well, now I just kicked off the music, but let's bring him in.
Let's bring him in, ladies and gentlemen.
Tommy the Truth.
Hey guys, I absolutely loved what you said about Wildcats. I don't think I would have got maybe 1 out of 3 right. I don't remember. I remember the movie, but I would have got 1 out of 3. I would have failed miserably if you would ask me.
Oh man,
Great movie.
Yeah,
it was. Well, it's just a fun movie.
Yeah, and
no,
you're right about the 80s. You know, the 80s was a different time, but it was also, to me, the best of times.
I totally agree. The
like
best of
Styx
times.
song.
Also, an amazing football movie starring Kurt Russell and Robin Williams.
Right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The best of times.
Yeah.
Oh.
The best of times. That's
The
another.
best
I was
classic
actually
great-
thinking of the Styx song, the song by Styx, "The Best of Times."
But yeah. But
Think
sorry,
about that.
but my mind, the best of times, it goes to that movie because Robin
Yeah.
Williams is Robin Williams and he's amazing. Tommy, I love the shirt.
Yeah.
Dude.
I love the
Yes.
shirt.
I love that
Yeah.
shirt, dude. That
Yeah.
is
And then the
awesome.
hat. I got the hat now. See, you got the hat.
Oh, nice.
And now he's
Now,
like,
Nice.
now I can
see?
say. Now I can say I'm official, baby. I'm official.
Yep. See, you can be just like Tommy the Truth and have an official Random Christian Show hat.
Absolutely.
Just email me here at the Random Christian Show at gmail.com or just go to randomchristianshow.com and say, yo, Christian, need my hat. What's up?
And Christian, I saw what you're eating, Christian, but please don't ask me what's in here. We've got to keep that a secret. I ain't gonna tell Soul, but I'm all good. I only had a
This-
few sips.
This is
This
what
wasn't
keeps
full.
the
Hey, this
show
wasn't full.
flowing.
This is not full. It's just
Right.
take
Yeah.
a little bit, take the edge off.
The real question is, don't ask what's in here.
That's
Oh,
true.
so we can't even see what's in there. At least mine's
No.
see through.
Hmm.
What a weekend, guys! What a weekend of playoffs, man.
Can you believe how that played out? Like immediately, San Francisco quarterback is out, and it becomes possibly one of the worst playoff games ever watched. On
Yeah, I
television.
mean, you can't do much without your starting quarterback, and then he tried to come back in and play too, and it just didn't work out. The way the game was going, I didn't feel like it was going to matter if he kept playing the whole game at all. I did pick San Francisco and Buffalo to go to the Super Bowl before the season began. And had Buffalo winning, but so I was cheering for San Francisco, but it looks like it was just they couldn't stop Philadelphia's running attack.
No, and then Josh Johnson comes in, right? Which I think,
there you go.
I think Josh Johnson played for my kids' team at one point.
Wow. That bad.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Wow.
Talk about a journeyman quarterback.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea he was on the roster until Purdy went down. that was.
And you always wondered with Purdy, it was an amazing run for Mr. Irrelevant. When was the shoe gonna fall off Cinderella and it finally fell? But it was a shame that he got hurt. Well, I'd like to see what would have happened if he would have stayed healthy. But I just felt Philadelphia Purdy doesn't play defense, so they couldn't stop that run, dude. It was just and you look at the stats for the quarterback, the Philadelphia quarterback, he really didn't throw for that many yards. It was all about the running attack, dude.
Yeah. Well, and that was another thing too, is that over the year, and while San Francisco was winning, they seemed very composed, like they seemed very together. This one little hitch in the road completely derailed their cool.
Yeah, they imploded. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
and it looked bad. It looked pretty. Watching Trent Williams at close to the end of the game just throw that kid on the ground was like
frustration.
You can tell. Yeah, you can tell that they're done. Yeah.
Well, but that's the thing too. When the beauty of great football teams is they have a backup system in place that is solid. Obviously, San Francisco did not have that.
Well, and so this is the interesting thing, is that Brock Purdy was already the third string quarterback.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
They went through their first string and their second string quarterbacks. And what, did Purdy played 6 games or something like that?
Seven in a row. I mean, he won every single game.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a miracle that they even got there with this guy, because I'm pretty sure in the back of their heads they weren't thinking we're going to win 6 or 7 in a row and get to the NFC Championship. So for them to get there with Mr. Irrelevant is a miracle in itself to me.
Yeah, no, that was incredible as well. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, hats off either way. They're going to come back next year, obviously, with a better game plan, and they're going to have an offense built around working with this guy and what he can do. So there you go.
I'm curious to see what happens because they got still Garoppolo, but I think he's going to be headed somewhere else. And I'm thinking Purdy's got to get surgery. You know, he got hurt and everything. But what's going to happen to Mr.
Trey Lance?
Trey Lance.
Yeah, going to do I have a gut feeling that Garoppolo ends up in Vegas.
You think so?
Because he knows McDaniel's system, and he is a younger option than the other quarterback that's out there that knows McDaniel's system. So I have just a gut feeling that that Brady stays in Tampa because they have a better shot to get to the playoffs. And Garoppolo goes to Vegas.
I think he might be headed to Miami. He's been visiting Miami quite a bit.
Oh, that's
He might
true.
be headed to Miami. And I've also heard other rumors about him going to the Raiders too.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I think I don't know. I think Brady would want to win so close to the twilight of his career.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of Tampa Bay because
don't go to the Raiders.
The way that he said goodbye to everybody at the end in Tampa, like saying bye, I'm almost thinking, do they want him to come back? That's the thing. Do they want him back?
Right. Yeah. And that last game really wasn't the best look for him.
No. He doesn't want to go out like that. He's too competitive to go out like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I had a buddy ask me a
but hey, listen, so was Montana. So was, I mean, there's been so many great quarterbacks that have tried to do it and just hang on. And it's like, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, come on, dude. Let it go. It's time to say goodnight.
Here's the thing about Rodgers, and I got some news from you from what the organization is saying. They want to trade him. They want to try to get rid of him. You know, they had Brett Favre there. Rodgers was on the bench 3 or 4 years. Then Favre took off to another team. And now Love has been sitting on the bench. And now they kind of want Rodgers to do the same thing. So there's a rumor that they really don't want him around anymore. And that's what's going to be I'm going to tell you more. I don't know if I should do the jackass segment of the week, but I was going to do it later. Unless you want me to do it right now. And
no. Save that towards the end. That's towards the end.
But what's being said, they don't really want him there anymore. They're trying to see if there's a way that they can trade him. And I don't blame them because after you hear my segment, you're going to understand why later on.
Okay. Okay. So now let's get back to this real quick because last week you had San Francisco beating Philadelphia.
Absolutely. Okay. Can't change my pick. I think it's Bush League when you change your pick during the season, unless the season they're already out of the playoffs. So I don't change.
No, I got you. Yeah. I'm just reminding everybody of your picks from last week. You had Kansas City over Cincinnati, or no, you had Kansas City losing to Cincinnati.
I wanted to see a rematch of the 80s when they played each other twice. San Francisco. It didn't happen. Cincinnati never won a Super Bowl. I wanted to see that. They never won one. I kind of wanted to see that.
Yeah. So, and that's what I was going to allude to. We were looking to go back to the late 80s. But what?
Yeah. No, and I'm sorry, but I think Kansas City is slowly becoming New England-esque. I'm getting tired of seeing them in the playoffs.
But you know what, dude? Okay.
I'll compare them to New England when they win more Super Bowls. I can't do that comparison yet.
Right. Okay. They only have one right now, right?
One.
One. They only have one Super Bowl.
Okay.
But now, the thing is, you got to remember, Kansas City is one of those teams. They are. I mean, they've been in the playoffs forever, so many times, and they had what, a decade of just suck, right?
Right.
But before that, dude, they were always I mean, it was like the old Raiders. You did not want to play them because they were going to beat the hell out of you, and they were going to make you. They were going to make you. If you're going to win, you're going to have to beat them. And you're going to know that you played the Kansas City Chiefs, just like the old Raiders. Nobody wanted to play them because, you're going to walk out of there and you're going to be like, dude, we just played the Raiders. I think we won, but we played the Raiders either way.
And I feel Kansas City's playing for, because usually if you want the team of the decade or dynasty, you have to win back-to-back Super Bowls, or at least two out of the 5 years in that decade. They won their last Super Bowl 2020, the one they won with Mahomes.
That's right.
Now they're fighting to get they don't want to be a one-year wonder. They want to be a dynasty. So they get another Super Bowl in this decade. They are right now the team of the decade if they can get it done against Philadelphia.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, but okay. Now you're talking dynasty. Isn't dynasty at least 3 or more though?
I I think if you went back to back or 2 and 5 years, I would consider you a dynasty, but it has to be in that decade. That's
yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from it. I mean, for me, like, you know, you look at some of the dynasty teams, the Cowboys. You look at Green Bay, Patriots.
Well, to me, the dynasty, right.
The
Dynasty
49ers.
Right. They're in the 80s, but they won four.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, but yeah, dude, they were solid. I mean, some of those 49er teams, well, just like some of the Dallas, well, a lot of these dynasty teams, it's like they were amazing to just watch play. It's like, oh, well, crap, they've already won this game.
And you have to also wait till the end of the decade to see who's the team of the decade. It's so early. But right now, Kansas City would be the front runners because they got 2 in this decade. And to me, I will call them a dynasty because they got 2 in 5 years, 4 years, 3 years. I mean, to me, and they've been to the playoffs a lot. That's another thing. So to me, I had an argument with my friend Wallace Jackson, Greeley, Colorado. He's a big Ram fan. We just had this argument today. He says he considers the Buffalo Bills a dynasty. They lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. And what I want to know from you guys, doesn't the dynasty have to constitute they won at least 1 or 2 championships, correct?
Well, yes, no, absolutely agree. But
okay,
it's a dynasty. It's the wrong reason dynasty is what they are.
That's a great answer, dude.
Reason dynasty.
You're the wrong reason dynasty. Like you are a dynasty for the absolute wrong reason is that you went to the big game and you lost 4 times in a row. And I mean, like, how does Jim Kelly sleep at night? Right?
Let me ask you guys this too. And if you talk to all those guys from the Bills teams, they said they would give up all 4 Super Bowl appearances in a row for 1 Super Bowl. Just to win 1.
Yeah.
They would give it because they're true competitors. The Atlanta Braves, let's go to baseball a little bit off. 15 division championships in a row. 15 won 1 World Series. Are they a dynasty?
No.
You can't. I mean,
they're a wrong reason dynasty.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, you know, there's a point where and especially if you're a fan of that team, where you know how they're going to perform in certain situations, right?
Right.
And it's like you can't get excited about them winning their conference, and then because they're going to tank in the playoffs.
Yeah, but see, you're also talking about the Bobby. Who was the coach, the manager back then? Bobby.
I forget his name.
I want to say Bobby Jones. I know that's not right. You know who I'm talking about, though. The
thing is, I look at it too. I don't think anybody's going to win 15 divisional championships in baseball in a row anymore. That's probably never going to happen. That was
not with free agency and all that. No way.
Amazing, but they should have had at least 2 or 3 championships. They only won 1 when they beat the Indians. That's it. So I can't really put them in the dynasty talk. I just can't.
No,
not the winning dynasty talk, losing dynasty, but not the winning one.
Well, and again, in historical terms, a dynasty in rule of like a governmental dynasty is someone who rules, right? You're
exactly.
I'm a dynasty, dude.
Yeah, you never talk about who fought the dynasty and lost.
No,
right?
It's who won.
They're literally written out of history because who writes history? The dynasty writes the history.
Exactly, Andy. And the thing is, when they talk about Buffalo now, they talk about Buffalo. All I ever hear is that, they lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. That's all they say about them.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is, winner or loser. And the Kansas City game, Mahomes playing with the high ankle sprain, and they said he didn't they didn't shoot him up, so he must have played. Everybody has different tolerance for pain. He must have a high tolerance for pain. I've had a high ankle sprain playing flag football. It's no joke, and he looked fine. He ran well, and I think Kansas City. I'm going to go ahead and make my Super Bowl pick. I think they're playing for more. They're playing not to be the one-year wonder. They're playing to be the team of the decade, and they're playing to be a dynasty. And I think they're playing for more. And I'm actually going to pick them over Philadelphia to win the Super Bowl.
Okay, hold on. Writing it down.
Write it down.
Write it down.
Everybody's going to say, "Oh, you're an Eagles hater because you're a Cowboy fan." No, I'm not an Eagles hater. All congratulations to the Eagles. I said before the season began, it all depends how the quarterback plays with all this new talent they brought in for him and played well, and he didn't turn over the ball, and he played fine. And I think going to get the MVP for the season. I really do. So
I think you're right. No, I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay. And we before the show we had a little debate about this too. Now, should the MVP be at the end of the season or during the playoffs?
I think you should have two. You should have a season MVP and you should have a playoffs MVP.
That makes sense.
They do it in basketball.
Yeah,
they do it in basketball. So they should do it for the other sports as well, because these guys, a lot of these guys that don't necessarily that are solid throughout the year, but you don't necessarily say their names, have sometimes show up in the playoffs,
right?
For different reasons, and I think that you need to recognize that above and beyond what they do during the season.
And then you have the guys that have these amazing seasons, like when I do my segment on Rodgers, wins all these MVPs, can't win in the playoffs anymore.
Yeah.
And that's like, if you can't win in the playoffs, what's the use? Dak Prescott can win 5 MVPs in a row, throw for 6,000 yards a season, but if he loses the first round in the playoffs, can't get into a Super Bowl, what's the use?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's me.
So okay. I know you're a win-loss guy, but if you're going to pick a score for the Super Bowl, what are you going to pick?
I think I'm going to go. It's amazing. He's going back to where he used to coach. He used to coach the Eagles. Remember that? A while back. And then you got 2 brothers playing against each other, Kelsey. The Kelsey brothers are playing against each other.
Right.
And also, the first time 2 African-American quarterbacks face each other.
That's true. Yeah.
Ooh,
okay.
A lot of firsts here.
Wonderful. I prefer just to call them quarterbacks because I don't see.
Right.
No. I'm saying for historical reasons.
I see players. I don't see whatever.
Exactly.
Right.
But a lot of first.
Yeah.
But I see the score. I think he'll be able to figure out that defense. Defense is one of the best in the NFL. I think Mahomes is going to. I think Kansas City's just got more to play for. They got more to play for. So I'm picking Kansas City. 27-24.
Oh, so you think? Okay, all right. I'm writing it down. 27-24. All right, and okay. So now we have the prediction. It's written down.
If I'm wrong, I'll say I suck. I always do. Like I suck this week. I missed both games. I suck. That's it in the story. When you suck, you suck. Just admit it, you suck and move on.
Well, listen, I'm in the land of Kansas City, so all I'm hearing is, we're going to go out there, we're going to kick out.
Yeah.
All right, let's settle down.
And
then you've got the realists saying, like, well, we could.
I heard somebody talk on the radio this morning. Like I heard San Francisco fans said they're going to beat Dallas 45-10. I go, it's going to be a closer game than that. I heard some guys say they're going to beat Philadelphia 41-10. I go, come on now. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. I just don't. That's a little too much.
No, I think it should be a pretty, like you said, you've got a real good
let's hear you guys' predictions. I want to hear Anthony, Christian, what you guys are going to pick.
I'm going to have to go. Well, I'm going with Kansas City.
Of course, yeah.
I mean,
what's the score?
I'm thinking Kansas City is going to go a little higher.
Let's all do this. Let's all make a pick the score, and whoever gets closest. We have to have. How do we bet? What do we bet? Do I bet Obaka? Do I bet this stuff? I don't know. What do we bet? What do we bet? We have to have a little side bet or something.
All right. You've got Kansas City beating 27-24. Yes. I was going to say 28-14.
Ooh, okay. All right.
I think it's going to be a touchdown. I don't think there's going to be field goals. I think it's just going to be straight touchdowns.
Philadelphia to 14.
Okay. No,
I think they're going to hold Philadelphia to 14, but I think Philadelphia is going to. I think it could be. I really think it could be higher, but I'm going 28-14.
Okay,
but remember, Dallas isn't playing, so field goals will get kicked in this one.
Actually make that extra points for them.
But see, got the third down.
Just pile it on. Go ahead. Everybody else, all my friends have been piling it on me ever since they lost to San Francisco. So just pile all the dog crap on me. I don't care anymore.
Right. So I think just to be different, I'm gonna go Eagles, and I think this is going to be an offensive shootout, despite how good the defenses are. Yeah. And I'm going to say 35-34 last minute field goal is going to win this game.
So if the Eagles win, no matter what, Andy wins the bet. But if the Kansas City wins, it will be tiebreaker.
Yeah, and it will be it'll be score based if Kansas City wins. But then if the score is too close on both sides, then we have to do Indian wrestling.
Okay, that'll work. I have to see how to do that on YouTube, but that will work.
Right. Yeah,
we can do what do they call it? The thumb wrestling?
Or
the thumb wrestling.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Or junk him boy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. Well, paper, scissors. No, rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Yeah, we could do that.
There you go. All right, that works.
So, and I'm actually, I now that I'm thinking, I'm gonna go 17 Philadelphia, 28 KC.
Okay, can't change it now. Let's go.
No, yeah, we're locking it in.
Lock it in.
We're locking it in.
It's locked. I'm done.
Okay.
17-28, Kansas City wins. You've got Tommy's got 27-24, KC wins. Andy going oddball, 34, KC. Philadelphia wins 35.
That's correct.
All right.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen I really need to look at the line, but I would think that Philadelphia's favored, but I haven't looked at the line yet. Have you guys looked at the line?
I haven't looked at the line yet.
I know a lot of people are really stressing on Mahomes. I think a lot of people are stressing out because Mahomes has been playing injured.
He's got 2 weeks to get better, though.
And he's like I said, everybody has a different tolerance for pain. Maybe his tolerance is higher,
Right. And he even says, I don't mind playing with pain. So he's not afraid of that.
And he's got a really good line to protect. So I think he's got a lot of confidence to stay up.
Yeah. And they will protect him. They've gone old school where they're like, it's hell or high water.
Right.
So
yeah.
All right, so there's the Super Bowl picks. We're gonna see what happens in a couple weeks here. And now, Tommy, real quick, you had a little rant you wanted to drop on us here.
Yep, I sure do. I'm just trying to look at the line, but I'll find that some of the time. But I have a feeling
you're looking at TikTok. Don't lie.
Hey, I'll look at that. That's for my grandkids and stuff and all that. But I would think to me, Philadelphia is probably favorite, but I'll look at the line later. I would think anyway. Maybe. I don't know. My rant basically is against Aaron Rodgers. I saw him on a recent interview, and I didn't see if the question was posed to him or he was asked this question. And this is the thing that tells me how he's just all about himself. He's always said he goes by he goes by his own rules. He goes by what he thinks, a little rebellious, I guess I would call him. But I think he was asked in an interview about MVP, and he said he could win one with the Packers or any other team he went to. To me, if a reporter, no matter if he asks you this question or not, the best thing he could have said is that, I don't care about the MVP. I care about the team. I want to win a Super Bowl with this team. Right. That's who I'm signed with right now. Now, if I go somewhere else, I want to win a Super Bowl with that team. But just to mention the MVP, and I don't care if the reporter asked, he could have stopped the reporter and said, look, I don't really want to talk about MVP. I want to talk about Super Bowl. Why didn't he say stuff like that? Again, another showing that he's just all about himself. He doesn't really care about the team. You don't say stuff like that, especially now, a younger quarterback, like these younger kids coming in that are 21, 22, 23, I might expect a little bit more arrogance from them, but he's in his late 30s. He should know better not to even say that. And you can't win in the playoffs. You haven't been winning in the playoffs, and you've had home field. You should be, if you're really focused on winning, if I'm a GM from another team he might go to, because it's come out of Green Bay. I told Christian there earlier already. They want to move on. I don't want to sit as a GM and say that's all he cares about is MVPs. What good has that done him?
Okay.
I want to hear a guy that wants to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
And that's my answer to the week. His being so dang eccentric and different, and just he thinks he's always right about everything. And if he was, he would have won more playoff games. He would have been in at least 2 or 3 Super Bowls already instead of just one. And that's my rant. I think that's the wrong thing to say when your team. I think when he said that, that's when the team probably said, you know what, we need to move on from this guy.
Yeah. We're cutting him loose.
So, I want to see what you guys think.
Yeah. Well, one quick point on that is, he's arrogant, but he's proven himself time and time again. But yeah, he's got some issues going on. All right. But if you've got a guy that's heading your team, okay, which, the quarterbacks usually are the head of the team. They're the guys running, your offense and stuff. Wouldn't you want somebody with that confidence in there? And yeah, if my quarterback is saying, yeah, I want another MVP, that means he's out there. He's going to go and try. Don't you think that's somebody you want?
MVP is an individual. It's an individual word, though. That's why you don't say that. It's an individual award and it's a season award. Again, it doesn't have anything to do with the playoffs. That's what I'm saying. You got to come to a point where you're talking more about the team than about yourself. And he still hasn't come to that point yet. He could have stopped and said, hey, I've won a few MVPs. It doesn't mean nothing. I want to win a Super Bowl. Every other quarterback, Dak Prescott, other guys, I don't think I've ever heard too many quarterbacks, and all the times I've been watching football, talk about it in that way. Like he makes it seem like it's more important than win a Super Bowl. I don't hear that very often. The young guys, yes, but they always compare him to Brady. Here's the big difference: Brady will never talk about winning an MVP. Never. Yeah. I'd rather have 1 year of Tom Brady right now because I still know. You know what? He wants to win another Super Bowl. That's all he cares about. Than having a guy that just talks about the MVP when it's absolutely done him no good. That's a season award. Yeah, winning the playoffs. And there was a thought process. My friend was telling me this just crazy dream sequence, and he goes, "If you could have, would you take anybody else than Dak Prescott right now for a year?" And I said, "I would take Brady for a year. I would, if Rodgers was the way he was back when he was winning a Super Bowl, more about winning a Super Bowl. I would take him. I wouldn't take Aaron Rodgers right now, and not if it's about himself. I don't want that. Yeah, and actually, the other guy I thought about for a second, and I'm thinking Dallas has to maybe move on from Dak too. I would take Jimmy. You know what? I'd take Jimmy Garoppolo if he was out there. You know why?
Oh, yeah.
He's took his team to a Super Bowl, and he doesn't make the mistakes that kill you. He doesn't throw for a lot of yards. He's not glamorous. But Troy Aikman didn't throw for a lot of yards, but he didn't make the mistakes that killed you. Yeah. I'd take Jimmy Garoppolo almost right now over Dak. Dak's just good. Like you said, Tony Romo 2.0, but going back to Aaron Rodgers, it's just there's things that I expect him to say differently as he's getting older, and it's like you got to just stop the guy and say, "Hey, man, I want to win a Super Bowl." That should have been the first thing out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, and I know, I mean, valid point. But like I said, I like a guy with a little cockiness out there and wanting, hey, I'm going to get an MVP, but I'm also going to get you a Super Bowl.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. At some point, he could have said, "I wanted to win that and a Super Bowl." That's that he's got to say stuff like that, and that's when I think, hey, we got to move on from this guy. We got to move in a different direction. So we'll see. Like I said, he hasn't won in the playoffs since when? He doesn't win in the playoffs no more. He doesn't.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, he needs to prove it before he keeps talking, I think.
But thanks for bringing up Brady and pissing me off about that. So that's all. I can't. I'm sorry. Dude, ever since I was in the grasp. Oh gosh, and then the Raiders did not make it, and they would have won the Super Bowl that year. I know it. I almost threw a bottle through a TV.
I don't like a lot of penalties that you can't even hit the quarterback anymore. You might as well put a flag on them. And it's still going on. And they're just going to protect the quarterbacks because that's what sells. And I don't like it. I don't like a lot of the rules. The defense, I feel right now, defense is handcuffed. And they need to change the rule. Hopefully this will happen next year. Change that rule. Spot foul. Don't the pass interference foul would do it. I'll just throw it deep. Maybe he'll touch him. 50-yard penalty. Yeah. Change it to like college. 15 yards, automatic first down. Get rid of the spot rule for the pass interference. I hate that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm
down with it. All right. So speaking of wrapping it up, we need to get moving on. But okay, so we've got our picks for the Super Bowl. You got your rant out. We're ready to go. So Tommy, we will see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, in 2 weeks we can wait till then and we'll do it after the Super Bowl show, and then we'll talk about some other stuff, sporting topics that are coming up I want to talk about. Well, so we can do it after Super Bowl show.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Post Super Bowl with
for sure, guys.
Mrs. A's famous. It's
for
delicious.
Kansas City.
I can't lie. Okay.
One for the Eagles. We'll see what happens, and then we'll have to figure out the side bet stuff. I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Well, I'll text the thread with the possible payoffs for the bets.
Okay,
and
guys.
I got some ideas.
So
I got some
let's get the
ideas.
chat opened up too. So, all right.
Okay.
Okay, Tommy, thank you so much, brother. We will talk to you.
Thank
here
you
in
for
a
having me,
couple
guys.
weeks,
Great
man.
time. Thank you. Bye.
All right, brother. We'll talk
Love
to
it,
you
Tommy.
soon, man.
Take care, man.
All right. So there goes Tommy, and I already queued out his music, so I didn't have it. But I forgot. I opened up the chat, so those of you who have been tuning in, let's get ready because now here
we
it
go.
comes. Oh yeah, the lady that's spicy and salsa all at once. It is Miss Leah Aguayo. There she is. She's already over there jamming. Yeah. Got a little Santana to bring you in there, Leah. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
And by the way, Andy's already sporting his, but I figured I'd have a reveal. There it is. My Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena t-shirt. Ta-da! Yeah.
Okay. So Leah, not only do you make amazing salsa, you have possibly given me the most comfortable t-shirt that I've ever worn.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say something, but yeah, Andy beat me to it as usual.
Yeah.
No, they're so soft.
It's amazing. It's like it's got to be like the right t-shirt for me to wear it, and it's like perfect. So,
and I have to say that it was the graphic design class at Los Gatos High School, where I spent the last 5 years of teaching, that did those for me. And the money that I spent to shirts, and I have the women's side here with the V-neck and the guys with the crew neck. But I helped them get to a conference in Louisiana.
Oh, that's amazing. That's great. And Christian is stuffing his face.
I watched you eating salsa all through the Super Bowl picks, and that was great. I was laughing.
Well, with sports talk, you got to have chips and salsa while you're talking sports, man. I mean,
that's true. That's true.
And if you're gonna have chips and salsa, this is the salsa to have right here. Oh my God. Okay. So now, Leah, let's back up here a little bit. Let's get okay. Yes, you're a teacher. You've been a ceramics teacher, art teacher. How many years?
Well, I was listening to your tasting the other day, last week, and I retired in 21. So I've been retired for a year, and I've been 40 years, 6,000 students.
God bless you.
I did math, and my first graduating class is 58 years. It's crazy. It's just crazy. So many students out there.
So and just husband, so you know,
yeah.
Well, I was just letting people out there that they know. Me and my friends were probably not the easiest class to teach. I'm just gonna say we're very good-hearted in many ways, but probably tested quite a bit of your patience. I know, because I know I got kicked out of your class at least.
Did I ever? Well, thinking about that when you said I send you out to the bench of shame, the bench that was right outside my classroom.
Yes. Oh my God.
I did.
So much so that there's a plaque on there now that says the Christian Random Bench of Shame.
No, that was over on the smoking section bench, which was not too far away.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I've been through 4 generations of children, and there was a smoking section.
That's amazing.
The teachers I taught with bring between breaks a cigarette, and I didn't smoke. And it was like this little office with a poof of, so anyways, yeah, times have changed.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. But yeah, so no.
Yeah. You guys are my boys.
Well, yeah, and go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So, it's okay. I don't know where to start. I mean, my students are the reason why I have this business, and I taught at Saratoga High for 35 years, and my husband at Los Gatos High, our sister school district, and he was there for 32 years, and then he decided to retire to our kitchen in Santa Cruz, and he made salsa with our team about 6 years before we went a different route. But yeah, it's all because I love my students, and I can tell you that story so you can, Christian. You can't stop. It's so darn good. It's so good. Yes.
It's addictive. I'm sorry, but it is. And like I said, I've had other people sample this, and they're like, well, and like the one lady today, she was like, oh, I don't like salsa verde. I'm like, just try it. Just try it. She's like, you're such a good salesman. So she like this, and seriously, just a little dip of the chip, and she goes, oh, that's pretty good. And then, double dipping. And I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of gross, but cool. And, but then she's like, no, and she's like, what is that in there? And, we're like kind of looking at some of the ingredients and stuff. And she's like, is that Serrano or jalapeno? No, we're like, no, it's jalapeno. And I mean, it's so seriously, everybody, the salsa is the first one where they go, yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's like some of the best verde I've ever had. And then now your medium, very tasty, very good. Now, and my wife has a theory that it's a little bit sweeter because there's no onion in it. Is
right.
that one of your secrets?
And I can't deal with onion. When I cook, I can eat them roasted and cooked and sautéed, but it's not a pico de gallo. I can't raw onions.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine processing in our commercial kitchen in Santa Cruz when we had it for 6 years, processing raw onions.
Oh yeah. And that's funny. No, that's funny. My wife is the same way. Can't stand raw onions, can't stand anything. Cook them, grill them, put them on a burger. They're fine. They're great. Perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife's the same way about tomatoes.
It's the sulfur. Cooked tomatoes over fresh. Yep.
Yeah. She can't stand fresh tomatoes, but she'll cook tomatoes, tomato sauce, things like that. She's all over it.
Yeah. So I was going over the taste, which I just thought was so adorable with you too. I was, hanging on to every word and watching you smell it and taste it. And when that hot hits you at the back of your palate, that's exactly if I'm doing a demo, I'll just sit there and stare at my customer until that hit. Oh, there's this. But it's not bad because I designed it so it wouldn't want it to be all about the flavor. And,
right. Yeah.
What
I thought it was funny.
It's blended over chunky. Yeah. Loaded cilantro.
Yeah.
And no onions. That's the key thing.
Yeah. I thought it was really funny during the taste and that it hit us at exactly the same time. Like I know. There wasn't a beat, and it was the funniest thing. You could see both of our eyes. Oh, there it is. And
we're like, oh,
it was so great. And I said this on the tasting. I shy away from the hot stuff. Like I can't take it. I can't stomach it. If I take one bite of a chip, I'm calling the fire department, right? Like they need to put out the fire in my mouth. That did not happen with your salsa at all.
Excuse me.
I tried it on a taco. We made tacos this week just because we wanted to use the salsa more. And I put some of the hot stuff on my taco and it was perfect. Like it was perfect right on that taco.
I'm telling you, I can't wait for fajitas tonight because it's going to be like, I just know it's going to be delicious. I mean, my wife's cooking the fajita meat, so I know that's going to be awesome. But with this, it's like, mwah. Magnifico.
Yum. Yeah. And, I was about when you guys were, unveiling it and the seal off of it. And when I'm out at a demo, I ask people, I put in a little chip and we're all COVID safe and everything. And in a little cup with a chip and I go smell it. Like a fine wine, you have to smell it. And they go, oh, that smells delish. And
right.
Yeah. The clean flavor that Christian, it's so true. It's so true. There is nothing salsa. It's all natural. natural. It's very simple ingredients. And I think in my opinion, onions turn salsa sooner than it's time.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It ferments it.
Okay.
And so, yeah. So, and I've kind of figured this all out. I was writing some notes, and this salsa went to my kitchen, just making friends, to my classroom as a reward for good behavior. I feed teenagers, they behave because they're starving all the time. And,
and there may have been other reasons, but
yeah.
Hey,
So,
listen,
but it got to a point
I
where
know.
we were fine. And it's a good thing. You know, when you have a party, everybody congregates in the kitchen. The kitchen is just a place of community.
Yeah.
Food builds a sense of identity. And I can remember, I don't know if it happened or back then, but we would have grandmothers and moms deliver, you know, their favorite back door.
Yeah.
And we have these huge potlucks. It was great.
No, it's those were, I mean, seriously, it's I feel sorry for kids nowadays because they don't have the freedoms that we had when we were growing up. You know, seriously, I mean, and I know lots of people say this about their youth, but I really think the 80s were probably one of the best decades to be around in, because to be a kid, to be a teenager, there was just so much, I don't know. It was, I mean, you look at the movie The Breakfast Club. Seriously. Yeah. I mean, it's probably a perfect example of how the 80s were. We had all these different people, but yet we all got along. Nobody really had big clashes or anything. And if there was, it was not long lived. You know, and and we really had this great sense of community still from like the early 50s, 60s kind of thing. We had the 60s and 70s rebellionists, freedom, but then we still had the family values of the 50s going on in a way. But yet we were developing to be latchkey kids. We were developing our independence. Gen X, like you hear all these jokes. Generation X, what is really one of the scariest, most amazing generations ever. It really is, because we grew up independent, but yet we grew up family based. It's, you know, there's so many dichotomies, I think, that just clash but pull together, and it was amazing. And it's not about that; it's about your damn salsa, woman.
But no, see, you get me thinking. I've seen four generations of kids, and back in the 80s, there were no phones. There were maybe in the late 80s, early 90s, I saw pagers and beepers come in. I'm friends with a lot of my older students on Facebook, and what's been coming out is they've been posting their skateboarding and their ramps that they made in the backyard. So I think it really was a healthier lifestyle. Now kids are just so attached to their biz. And the other thing that I saw in the last couple of years is I taught last year ceramics online, but it worked. And, you know, I would, if I felt like I was losing them on my screen, take them in my kitchen and we'd make mole. I'd teach them how to make a mole.
Yes.
On a bread with chocolate chip, you know, so they love me and I love them. And, you know, how I was back in your day, in the early, you know, a new teacher and was feeling a little confined. But my last 20 years of teaching of the 40, I was just like, when you walk in the store, you leave your backpacks at the door, you've all got, and they're all, what are you talking about? So there will be no tests, there will be no homework, and they'll dress in here. But what I need you to do is care about your work, put into it, help me clean this room, because the ceramics room can get really dirty. And don't drive me crazy. Don't drive me crazy. And, you know, we go out to the bench of shame and I'll fall outside his classroom. And you just go out after a couple minutes and talk with them and say, stop it. You know, I can't deal with, you know, and it's pretty cute because I tell them, I said, I'm one of you. You know, I don't have, what is it, ADHD? I have ACDC. And they go, isn't that old rock band, Mrs. A? I said, yeah, but I'm one of you. And,
That's amazing.
Yeah, I miss my kids terribly. They had to really pull me kicking and screaming out of there because they me and I think I needed them. But can I tell you the story of how this came about? It's pretty.
Yes,
pretty
please.
Yes, please.
So
Yeah.
I was.
That's yeah.
I was and bringing food weekly, and I started bringing salsa. And my third period, class one day, and said, "Miss A, we can't wait to be good. You've got to mark." And I'm running around the ceramics room. And I said, "Okay." And they said, "No, 10 minutes, they had it named, May's famous Salsa Buena." And I said, "Oh, I like that. Okay, let me think about that." And then one of my quiet boys came up and he says, "Mrs. A, can I design your label?" And I'm all, "Yes, you can." And he goes, "This is what I want you to do." And that young homework that day. And I went and did it that night. So if it comes to me at a demo or a show and says, "I want to market my grandma's marinara sauce," or "I want to market my doggy bed for my dogs," I tell them, go to the store. And this told me, go to the store where you see your product be. Look at all your competitors. Where are you in the store? I was in the refrigerated section. And I went to my local, and he goes, "Buy all your competitors, look at ounces and price and ingredients and what caught your eye on the label." And I brought those in, and the kids devoured them. And I watched this young man at the ceramics room sink, washing out the containers, putting them in his backpack, and within 3 weeks had the label designed.
Wow.
So and this was one of your students telling you this?
Yes, he was 17.
Wow.
He was 7.
What does he
they
do now?
designed the Sun logo. Leave. I haven't been in contact with him for several years, but for a while there, we were in contact. And he's a big designer in New York City. He redesigned years ago to be an engineer, because I want to be engineers now. And my old classroom, I always do a little test. I said, "Who wants to be a plumber?" No hands go up. "Who wants to be a mechanic?" No hands go up. "Who wants to be a teacher?" "You don't make enough money." I'm like, and I said, who wants to be an engineer? And all the little hands go up. I said, "Okay, well, you engineer, big bucks to have your toilet fixed and your car fixed and your house built. So you might think about, and I was always supportive. I don't know. Ever since this salsa business, it seems like it's been my job to encourage passion, following your passion with my and
but
just COVID, the pandemic, everything has just messed with kids right now. Really.
Yeah. It really did. But it really proves some things like what you were just saying right there. Everybody wants to be an engineer. Everybody wants these really sweet, cushy jobs. But you know what? The plumbers out there and the construction people are making bank and being overworked right now because there's so much work because none of these kids wanted to do that. And they're all engineers and they've all got engineering degrees and they're all sitting there twiddling their thumbs because they ain't got no job. And they've got to take some other jobs that are beneath their degree, which, I mean, God bless them. Yeah. But you also got to look ahead at the future. Okay. My 14-year-old daughter wants to be a professional gamer. I'm like, there ain't no business in that. It's already a tapped market. And she's like, but these guys make so. I said, honey, they're the guys making that money. That market isn't going to be there when you're done. I said, you're an amazing artist. Just keep working on your art. And she has always that little app on your phone where you can just draw pictures and stuff. She was sitting there doing that one day. I'm like, what are you doing? And she just shows me. I'm like, and it was this, it was this amazing drawing. Now she was, imitating in her head one of these anime drawings or whatever, but she was doing it on her own. There was no guide or anything. She's sitting there doing it. I'm like, you just did that all by yourself? She's like, yeah, I do a whole bunch of them. She shows me. I'm like, you did all these on your own? She's like, yeah, well, this one's kind of based off this. And I'm like, yeah, but you did this without any. And she's like, yeah, I'm like, girl, you got skills, you know?
So support her in that. Support her in that. And get her some tablets and colored pencils and ink pens and all kinds of stuff. They need that. They need times because they're confused. My pottery professor, Ralphson, my pottery professor, came to do a demo one day. And I don't know if I had him in when he's passed away since when he passed, but they come in and it was the word on campus that Johnson was in the room. And a class would come in and he said, so what do you guys want to talk about? What's going on in your lives? And they said, well, we're scared. We're scared. What are you scared about? Oh, getting into college. Oh, stop it. He says, every single one of you, if you want to go to college, you will get into college. And he goes, why? And they're all, why, Al? And he said, because you've already won the lottery. You've already won the lottery. And he mean, Al? And he goes, when that sperm egg and you were created, that was like 1 billion to 1. You created and land in serotonin.
Right.
So don't worry. There's nothing to be afraid of. So then the bell would ring and the next class would come in and he'd go, what do you guys want to talk about? The sperm, the lottery. And, so I'm just like, oh, I'll tone it down a bit.
All right.
I mean, it was great. So anyways, I have made you guys some food. I don't know how much time we have, but shall we move on to
don't worry about time. We got plenty of time.
Good. Okay. So let me back up just a little bit.
Okay.
To market myself. And did a little test marketing in the at the farmers market there in Los Gatos, and we were selling, oh, we got something here, maybe the kids were right. And Ralph and I paid to go to the fancy food, and there's a winter and a summer fancy food show in the country. One's in Cisco and one's in New York. And when we paid a lot of money, thousands of dollars a show, and I had a little 4-foot table, and I had some chips and salt, and I didn't even have a shirt at that little name tag. It was good. And people were going, oh my gosh, how do I get this salsa? I will buy a store. And I said, well, I don't have distribution yet, but give me your information and I'll get. And previous to the show, I had been trying to get a distributor, and every place I would call, they say, come back, kid, when, go away. Come back when you're bigger.
Hey, welcome to podcasting.
So I did it. No, I can totally relate. And so did the show, and it was 3 days, and I missed 2 days of school. I came back on my first day, sick period, end of the day. Miles comes up to me and he says, where have you been? I said, well, I've been doing some business. He goes, I know you've been doing fancy. Read about it in the paper this morning. Run to the library, all the way down. He grabbed the newspaper that was on one of those sticks, and he's like running down the hall with the newspaper. And I look, and it was we were named one of the top 10 food out of 1,000 at the food show.
Oh,
wow!
And that was in the beginning, and so I called a couple of the big distributors that had said, come back a little when you're bigger, and they go, we'll see. So I went in with my little lunch cooler and a couple things of salsa, because back in the beginning it was just medium and hot, and they said, we'll bring you in. So when they called me, they said, we saw the article, we'll see you now. And so anyways, that was
now
my little
let me tell you something, okay?
Let me tell you something. That's right. And, I figured it out. It's from my kitchen to the classroom to the major markets. I figured it out, and it's been a lot of walking into stores with my little cooler and asking for a dairy guy, which is where we go into because we're fresh refrigerated, to taste it. And the other thing is demos. You have to get out and have people taste, because Andy, when you look at the wall of salsas, I buy which one is good. How
Right.
much money am I
Right,
going to
yeah.
waste in bad salsa? And so I have up in North California, and she's just a hoot. She's under 5 feet. She's really short, and she's and you can tell when she's in the store. It's just, she's selling salsa. And I talk a lot about my cookbook when I do demos, because since I was about 8 years old, and I talked about, do you like to cook? And if they say yes, it just starts of how to use the salsa in recipes. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, so just excuse me for the people on the oh, and I haven't been doing my my captions. I'm a horrible person. Just for people on the audio podcast of this, we're talking with Leah Aguayo, also known as Mrs. A from Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena. Kind of a teacher to not almost Rich's story. She's getting there. She started as you heard teaching, making salsa for her students. They said, this is amazing, you got to expand it. So then she goes and starts getting into places and demoing, as you said, and now she's blown up and she's getting bigger, and the salsa is just absolutely amazing. Now how many, you said you started with 2, just a hot and a mild, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now
when we go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Now go ahead.
Okay. So when we built out our commercial kitchen, we built out a beautiful 400 square foot commercial kitchen in Santa Cruz.
Wow.
And my student who designed he would meet with me every now and then. We'd go stand in a store and we'd look at how people were buying. He says, Mrs. A, you've got to be more of a presence, visual presence on that wall, is what I call. And he goes, I think you need to expand and get more flavor. So we started with 2, and then I developed, and this is you and your listeners and viewers, but I made a pineapple mango, tropical sweet with a little heat that had organic lime juice in it. We had another one called Rojo. Roll your R's, Christian. Rojo Loco.
Rojo
Loco.
There we go. And it's crazy red. Why? It's crazy good. And so then to try, we did medium, hot, salsa verde, rojo loco, and pineapple mango. Well, the medium, Andy, is our number 1 seller. We sell 3 to 1 on the mediums.
Wow.
People are afraid of heat.
Ugh.
And because of the pandemic, because people were shopping at home and cooking at home at home. And in those places were just blowing up too, because everybody was afraid to go in the store. I had my glass on and I was delivering salsa and just avoiding anybody in the house. But we had to go down to our top 3 sellers, which is medium, hot, and verde. Now you guys rated them a little bit differently, but we just went off of how much we were selling, and it was a chain crisis. I mean, I couldn't get the pineapples for a while. I couldn't afford to put. I was giving this pineapple mango also away, but if some, I will send it to you because it's going to make you crazy. It's so delish.
I love a good pineapple mango salsa. There were a couple of brands that I would, and they were. I know Safeway made one on their own that I used to I would demolish whenever they made it. I would love to try your pineapple salsa.
No, it's blended, not chunky. Yeah, it's
which sounds even more incredible. So
and now Todd Rundgren was a huge fan of your salsa mango, correct?
Yes, and my husband he just looks at me and goes, oh my goodness, he can't stop me. I just do crazy things. I worked through Todd's life, and he was having a Todd Fest in Messino for his 70th, and my husband and son were going rocks in Denver to see a concert, and I messaged her and I said, can I send salsa and guacamole to Todd's birthday party? And she said, absolutely. I had my special pass at security. I went in, and you talk about people being hungry. They were all starving there. And I set up two huge tables with chicken salsa, and he came up to me right over my shoulder, and he says, here, I'm supposed to taste your pineapple mango. And I said, yes, you do. And I said, can I take some pictures? He goes, yes. And I would literally had my camera around. It was just click, click, click. As he went, like this.
I got John Redgrove over my shoulder eating chips.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh my God, that's
and what
so
that
cool.
is that we saw his band in Santa Cruz at the Rio, and I called his wife, or I emailed his wife, can I go dinner at my commercial kitchen in Santa Cruz? She goes, absolutely. So we had the whole band, you guys,
oh my gosh,
in our and having talk, and it's a memory that those who were there will never forget. It was pretty special.
Oh yeah, that is just so ultimately cool.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, and now you've taken your business from this small little you had your small little commercial kitchen in Santa Cruz, and now I mean you've gotten to the point where you've got distribution, and you're all over California, correct?
Yes. And
okay,
you
all
know,
over California.
It's called dairy zones. Your dairy can only go out so far. Same thing with the fresh product.
Right.
It only go out
Yeah.
so far. And we have a great shelf life because of our tweaking of the recipe a little bit. I mean, it's been officially by shelf life tested, and it has a 60-day shelf life as is. And we're going to try to double by doing a high pressure pasteurization process. That's in the future, especially if I go across the country, which is my goal. I want to go across the country to everybody eats Mrs. A's salsa.
Yes, we do.
So a lot of things happened. The pandemic, the protests, in the Santa Cruz Mountains, 83,000 acres burned in the CZU fire within a mile of our house. And so we were waited for 16 salsa kitchen. I was teaching online. Ralph was making salsa. We had people staying upstairs because they had nowhere to go. I'd be like, kids, I have to mute my mic right now. So can make the salsa. And they're all, okay, Mrs. A. It was crazy. It was crazy, but our house survived. And it just got to a point with not getting ingredients or supplies and having trouble getting employees to help us. We were deciding to close the kitchen. And we said, well, can't get what they call a co-packer, a company that can do you. And I called 10 months. They were either closed or they weren't taking clients. And I'm not kidding you guys, though we were going to throw the towel in and Salsa Buena was going to have to go away. I got a phone call from a co-packer up in Richmond, and they said, we can do your salsa for you. You know, it is a divine intervention. And I just was so thankful, thanking God that this was able to happen. We went empty on the shelf for about weeks, and all of our stores kept our shelf space. That's how much they love us.
Wow.
And if you know the food business, it's really hard. Shelf space is the key. Eye level, way up in the nosebleed section, down below where people tend not to look.
Right.
So
no, you got to be right there, eye level.
Yeah, right there. So truly blessed and lucky, and Salsa Buena lives. And now I think you mentioned a tasting. I can orchestrate here from our new home in the high desert, Palm Springs, by Joshua Tree, and I can't wait to get in Southern California. I'm in Southern California because then I can go out and demo and just build the business. And we're going to a big food show next month in Sacramento, and I'm hoping that I'm snag some Southern California. I'm snag Colorado. Because
you're gonna blow up. You go to Colorado, you're gonna blow up.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
do we have time to talk about the cook? It's free to anybody
Please.
Absolutely.
who wants to look at it. So,
and yeah, let's remind everybody real quick of your website is what? MrsAFamous.com, correct?
I'm so bad at this. www.mrsafamous.com.
Okay. Yes. All right. So, and then we'll also have a link for that on our webpage.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And,
I will put that
on
up
the
there.
show. So we'll have that for that as well. So anybody that wants that, you can go there or just go to mrsafamous.com. And yes, but yeah, now this, I'm almost scared to have you do this because if anybody ever samples or anybody who has sampled your salsa and has not gone to your recipe page at this point, they're probably going to shut down your webpage because there's so many people doing it. Your food is amazing. It's like when I first met my wife, she's like, I'm a really good cook. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And, then she whips up this.
And she is, yeah.
The first time she cooks for me, she goes, you want a pie? And I was like, well, that's going to take a while. She's like, oh, it'll take me about 15 minutes. Okay. And she's like, you like rhubarb? I'm like, sure. And seriously, just pulls out this rhubarb pie out of nowhere. She's like, another 15 minutes, it'll be done cooking. I'm like, what? And she pulls out, and it was the most amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I kind of like rhubarb pie. Now I love her rhubarb pie because it was just amazing. So, you have a gift. You have a unique gift. And I think it's, you need to charge people for your recipe book. You shouldn't be giving away for free. I'm just saying.
I did that. I did that in the beginning, but then it was just, I had to ship it and I had to address an envelope and get to the post office. So
yeah, right.
So it just became a hassle. So I said, here, you can have it. It's all yours. Go. It's from me to you.
I've been cooking. Cooking since I was 8 years old because my mom was the youngest of 8 from a farm in Minnesota, and she hated to cook. And
wow.
So she used to just drive me to the grocery store, drop me off, and I'd do grocery shopping. I'd do cook. And then my husband's parents, his Hispanic home, and his dad was a chef, and I was the right-hand girl. I loved. But the recipes, there's no. It's and I just wanted to do it because I needed to get this stuff out of my brain and out there and on some paper. But Andy loves walking.
Yes.
There. But I just whipped it right now. And the secret to keeping it super green is using the salsa verde. That's why I asked if you had a little bit left, because you could get some ripe avocados, smush it with a fork, add some salsa verde, salt and pepper, and you can go anywhere with that. You can put some red onions, you can put some more cilantro, you could put some
got it.
For Christian and his wife could from fresh jalapenos and put it for a nice crunchy bite that'll have a little extra heat, a little extra cilantro. Like just so good. And then I wanted to show everybody, and I the listeners can't see, but this is the I think it's kind of medium. But what's nice about it being blended, and I'm not going to eat this, but I'll choke on air. I'll get a chip caught in my throat.
Always happens. Yeah.
But look. Oh, Andy, I love shark.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Shark music.
That's
shark. So cute.
It's our shark.
I'm going to be doing that.
It's also shark.
So look at, because it's blended, how it sticks to the chip. It's not that watery stuff. And that there, that was the medium. And then here's the verde that I just made this morning. But again, it sticks to the chip. It sticks to the chip. So delicious.
And it's so delicious. Oh my gosh.
It's so delicious. And then I really believe, and it's in my cookbook, that soup can save the world. If you make a pot of soup, share with somebody. My passion is food. My passion is food, and I make a pot of soup every week. And my husband's not a big soup fan, so just have a cup. Well, maybe a half a cup. Okay, I'll have some. But then I end up with this pot of soups. So I at the dog park, and arrange at the dog park with Luigi. That's my top. Anywhere from early 20s to their 30s. And if you can make someone happy by sharing your passion, the world would be a kinder place. I super believe that. Whatever it is, it might be crocheting, or it might be gardening, or it might whatever, just it's a simple sharing of your passion. It's so it's your passion. You gotta go for it. And for 22 years at school, I did Superbowl, SOUPER, and my 500 bowls. Here's the bowl, one of the bowls. This is an interesting bowl. This is a combination of porcelain and stoneware. So when you throw it, the swirls happen, and I can't tip it over too much. That's why I was trying to eat some of it. A soup that is in the book, and it's just a good little soup. The meatballs have rice in them, so a lot of the rice falls in the soup. But what you need to have the guacamole, on there, and then
that looks amazing.
A drizzle of the salsa, and you've got dinner. It's so delicious.
That looks so.
I'm gonna start eating the chips again.
I'm gonna make the soup next week. I'm definitely making that soup next week.
Yeah. It's really good. And my
we're gonna be doing it here soon.
With soup is sauteing the vegetables.
Oh yeah.
It's nice and soft because it brings out all the flavor.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Okay, and again, just for anybody who's listening on the podcast version, we've got Leah Aguayo, or otherwise known as Mrs. A, from Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena. Go to mrsafamous.com. You can get now. You will ship this, right? Your company will ship this to if anybody wants it, correct?
So West Coast or Oregon, you're really lucky. It is so expensive for me to send. I don't have a procurement in my garage, with ice packs and coolers. And if I go to the UPS and send salsa samples, it's hundreds of dollars, and it's crazy.
Okay.
I want to pay $70, I can get it to you. But I mean, with that, I don't think it would be that much. It has to be overnight, and because it's a safety issue. You don't want to get anybody sick, and
absolutely.
But if the listeners and viewers can hang in there for a little bit, this big food show I'm going to next month, I'm going to be going across the country. That's my goal. And maybe we can do another announcement, if I get it and let
absolutely
everybody know.
Of course.
We fully support anytime you want to come back on, you are more than welcome, Mrs. A. Now it's okay, so you're right on the cusp, and I love what you said about how you didn't give up, and I mean you were right there, you were right at the end. Me and Andy basically kind of had that kind of a moment with this show, actually. And that was just not too long ago, to be honest. I was at the point where I'm like, dude, I think it's time to just pull the plug, and I mean, we've been at it. Well, I've been at it on the show for almost 2 years, with Andy for about a year. And, I was just kind of at the point where I'm like, I'm not sure we're really going anywhere. And then all of a sudden, I said, we're going to do 3 more shows, 3 or 4 more shows. Right. And cause we had guests booked, and I'm like, we'll do those and we'll just be done. I said, I think we just need to, just maybe leave it alone at this point. And right at that point, all of a sudden we're starting to get people listening. We're starting all of a sudden, everything just starts blowing up. We start blowing up on YouTube. We start, and not like, overnight sensation blowing up, but all of a sudden our numbers are just jumping up more and more and more. And I was like, dude, okay, I think we're getting somewhere. And it's the exact same kind of thing. It's something I prayed about. And it was just God going, okay, It's all right. Just chill out for a second. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's a little something. Go. It's happening. And I even told him, I'm like, dude, God answered my prayers. God answered my prayers. And he's like, all right, Christian, just settle down, relax. It's okay. We're not there yet. So,
and when it's your passion, you can give up, and it's okay. And you can be proud of what you developed and done. But that one little prayer, that one little, I'm just going to hang in there a little bit more. And so.
And I'm so thankful that you hung in there, because this is just absolutely amazing. So now you only have the 3 brands right now, right? The salsa, the
3
medium,
flavor profiles. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. But there may be more coming.
I'm not opposed to bringing pineapple and Rojo Loco back. You just, it's, and I think I talked to you about, it's a penny thing, how much is the salsa costing? And everybody takes a piece of you when you're in the distribution.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I pay the co-packer, I pay the distributor, the markets it up when it gets to the store. And so when those pineapples shot up and the mangoes shot up, it was like, oh my gosh, we just can't do it. So hopefully things will settle down, but right now food is expensive, and because of gas prices, the food industry is run by gas prices, trucking, and I've got to get my salsa from Northern California to Southern California, and that unless I get enough accounts to warrant them driving it down. So
right, and I totally get it. I'm in transportation, so I totally get the. I totally get that. And it is amazing to see, how quickly things will change because of those. And it and hell, just space on a truck, it can be limited. So, if like during the winter, especially out here, they don't really run their reefer units. They'll be in a refrigerated unit, but they don't have to run it, so they save a little money there. Things like that. All these things go into get factored into the logistics of moving this stuff, and it's absolutely amazing to be on that end of it and go, wow, I get it. Okay. There's so many things that factor into all of it, and it's amazing. I know you are like ready and on the cusp, and it's gonna happen, and I'm just so excited. I really am. I was so excited when Rob was on the show, and he's like, "Hey, Mrs. Lay's watching it." I'm like, "What?" And and he's like, she's got this salsa. I'm like, "I've heard about it," but he's like, "Oh, dude, no, you gotta." He's like, "You got to get some." I'm like, "Well, I'm not in California, dude." So, and then you were like,
funny. That was so funny how he was talking about going to Hawaii and to the volcano, and how this artist was making molds in hot lava, and it sparked his memory back to when I made a plaster face mask. And I couldn't do that at this time day. I was so thankful. We talk about to God. I'm going to pull this, 5 pounds of plaster off your face. Let's hope the Vaseline works. Because we're rubbing down their eyebrows and their facial hair. They're breathing through straw up their nose, laying on the ceramic table, and I completely engulf them until
it didn't work very well on Kevin. Remember Kevin's story? Didn't it stick to his face a little bit?
Just a little. I had in my mind 911 apartment will chainsaw it off it's crazy. The things we used to with the kids,
Oh yes. Nope. That's amazing.
No, those
all
are
right.
My,
so, but
yeah.
Yep. And now. So anybody who wants this salsa, you said Wyoming, Oregon, Northern California, some of
Nevada,
Southern, right? Or Central?
Nevada,
yes.
Nevada.
Both
and boy.
There's a very comprehensive list on her website here.
Yeah, there is. And in fact, like my mom was asking about it. And so, because she's up in Sacramento area. And so I said, I know she's in Sacramento. I just don't know where. So I pulled up the thing and I sent it to her and she was like, oh yeah, that's like 10 minutes from my house. So she's going to be getting some of your salsa and enjoying it because it's delicious and amazing. Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena. Go to the mrsaysfamous.com site and find out where you can get it and get some recipes to make some of this amazing food. You got your soup on there. You got your guacamole. What other kind of little recipes do you got on your website there?
So I'm a cook, or a home cook that likes comfort. I love comfort food. So I have my cheesy potatoes on there.
Oh,
which if you just trade out the potatoes for macaroni and cheese, there I do.
No, you had me a cheesy potatoes.
Enchiladas.
All right.
Yeah, no, and you guys can easily make those. It's again nothing hard. And the cheesy enchiladas, chili verde, chili colorado. I do a couple pages on how to make these, which is like a Christmas whole bunch of family together task.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of soup. My white bean spinach soup is delicious. I did probably for 8 years the Santa Cruz homeless shelter soup line supper, and I was requested every year to bring my tortilla soup. Now, Christian, Andy, but what I feel happens in my life is that God lets me see and hear things, community that people know. And so, for whatever reason, I see something and act on it. I hear something, I act on it. And I drive around with homeless baggies in my car. I have water and canned tuna, toothpaste, just little goodie bags, cookies and things. And I just gave one out yesterday. And this man was just like so thankful because it's cold here.
Yeah.
And, it's all good. It's all good. Everyone's what they can and what they feel in their heart. It's something that I believe is my purpose. And I made my tortilla soup. I think on the recipe book it's called creamy vegetable soup, and there's no cream in it, but I saute all the vegetables, put the broth in, the tomatoes, cook it for a long time, and then I take blend it. So it's just, and then again, it's like a tortilla soup, which I did at the Santa Cruz homeless shelter soup line supper, where I had condiments of avocado, salsa, chips. And people were like, came here just for your soup. I
hiked 5 days to get here just for the soup. I quit my job.
Yeah. Oh my God, I flew here. No, but it's kind of all over the place. It's all over the place, but you can't. If your listeners and your viewers don't have my delicious salsa, just make the recipes. With the albondiga soup, make some of the guacamole, put it on top. Put cilantro on it. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, and everybody can tweak it to how they want it. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
And that's how some of the best recipes work. They start out with a very basic, and then they're like, well, I think I'm going to throw some of this in. I'm going to throw some of that.
Yeah.
I really like this. And, and bacon. Boom. Okay. It's delicious. I'm done.
Oh, bacon's everything better.
Yes.
I just looked down at my notes, and it was so cute when you guys were doing the tasting last week. Christian kept saying, there's something in here. I have to Mrs. A because there's something in it. And at one point he said, maybe it's onions. I'm on, no, Christian, no, keep guessing. And when I'm out there doing my demos, people will just their mouth and they're just like reacting like you guys did, like, oh my gosh. And they say, why is this so good? And I don't know when it started happening, but I kind of do it now as I turn my hands over. And they said, what do you mean? And I said, what's my hands? Whether I'm making you a pot on the potter's wheel, whether I'm stirring a pot of soup, making the salsa, it's the love from my hands that that go into what I do. Yeah,
Yes.
boom, there we go.
That's awesome. And it is. And you can taste it. That's what makes it so amazing is it's made with love.
Yeah.
Even though you've gotten through a bigger production cycle, it's still right here from the heart. And that's what you put into it. And it comes through every time because it is amazing. All right. So again, let's we got Leah Aguayo, Mrs. A from Mrs. A's Famous Salsa Buena. You can go to mrsasfamous.com to find out where you can get it in Nevada, California, Oregon, and Wyoming. And maybe if you really, really, really have to have it, you can have it shipped to you. But you know, I mean, hey, she shipped it here and I'm in Kansas City. So there you go. Which I cannot tell you how grateful I am for this. And I'm like trying to make it last, and it's not going to because tonight again we are having fajitas. So
you're breaking the rules, Christian.
I know
you're breaking the rules.
But we have skirt steak from Green Grass Cattle Company, and we're very excited to try that. Everything we've had from Green Grass Cattle Company is like your salsa. It's amazing and delicious. And it's grown with love. There's passion behind the farming, and he's actually going to be on the show here in a couple of weeks, I think. So
Awesome.
yeah, and
I'm gonna call them or email and order some also, because the best recipe for skirt steak, Christian, is to get a zip bag and juice like limes in the bag, salt, pepper, fresh garlic. Roll that puppy up, let it set for a day. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Delish.
I want some skirt steak now. Oh.
I want some.
You're stupid fajita, Jesus. Okay, sorry, I went Homer Simpson. All right. So but listen, we've been holding you up here, and oh my gosh. Well, one, I've got to go eat fajitas here in a little bit. So and I'm very excited for it because I got my salsa and I'm gonna use a lot of it. So but hey,
Awesome.
we have a little game that we want to play with you, and I want to make sure you're okay. Do you still got a little time to hang out with us?
Sure. I'm not very good, yes. Try.
Well, this is a very simple game. It's called I'm trying to find the button to wake the guy up that says it.
Random question.
There he is. He's somewhere in here.
Yeah, we've
And
seen him somewhere.
yeah, well, we keep hearing him. But it's called Random Questions of Insanity. It's just a bunch of fun questions that we like to ask all our guests. There is no right or wrong answer. It's just whatever answer you give is the answer that we need to hear. So and it gives us a deep dwelling into your psyche, and then we report you to the government later. And have you tested for psychiatric care. So anyway, especially after teaching kids like me, I'm pretty sure you're fine. You're fine. You're still here at this point, so we're all good. But it's a lot of fun. We have 2 base questions that we start off with, and I think they're both good enough. So let's go. Let's play the game. And the first one is, what is the best James Bond film?
Finger.
Just like John Feldman's band. Well done. Well played.
Yeah.
And hey, did you notice our intro music, by the way? That's Donnie Campion.
To the show. Oh, Chris Campion, Donnie, all those guys. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. No, it's he. I asked him. I said, "Dude, can I use that for my?" He's like, "Yeah, Mad Dog." So, yeah, that was an old nickname I used.
I was wearing a Consolidated sweatshirt the other day too, and that's
Oh yeah.
that's my guy Steve Berta.
Oh yeah,
And,
Birdo. No,
he
he's
always he always comes back at me and do Mrs. A. And I said, God, I'm old. I don't remember. I was failing your class and I needed it to graduate. And he goes, she made me get up on table 2 and do the dance.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
And I'm like, and you pass. I said, oh, God, I don't remember that, Berto. And that's what, if he sees me, he will bring that back up. Traumatized. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Nope. Very, very true. All right. What is your favorite sandwich and what all is on it?
I've been thinking about this lately because we're in Southern California now. And there's it's called Philippe's French dip sandwich. So I think that's my overall favorite sandwich. Sawdust on the floor, and you go with your little tray, and you go along, and they dip the bread. And crazy, so I know.
Oh my gosh! Yes,
that sounds amazing.
I forgot about that place. I have been there. It is amazing.
I did too.
Oh wow!
This 4-year-old nephew's birthday at Fifth Park with a bouncy and everything, so we made the way back.
Oh, right on. Yeah, yeah, you are. All right, so those are our 2 base questions, and you passed.
Okay.
So well done. And where's the there? Okay, there passed. Okay, so that's right. Now the teacher has become the pupil, and now it's my turn to grade you. All right. So Andy, let's why don't you throw one at her?
Okay. As a cook, what is the strangest thing in your refrigerator right now?
I'm not sure I want to know this.
Oh, you know what this is? And I got it when my son and his girlfriend were here now, but it's mango and passion bubbles that you get in that drink where you get a big straw and you're sucking up the juice of the drink. And all of a sudden you get hit. Those are bubbly.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're so delicious. I've really been trying to watch the sugar. So I they're in there. Yeah. But they're delish.
Okay. Let's see. What's I think I know the answer to this one. What's your best music genre?
Ooh. Genre. Well, you know, I don't know if it's a genre, but I think, you know, since we were 15 in high school, the junior prom, we got platform shoes on and his hair was longer than mine. And back then, and it's just Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Todd Rundgren, Morrison. I don't know what you would call that genre.
Like classic rock.
Classic rock. I'm also with Dave Mason and his wife. You know, he was in Traffic, and we've gone to see him several times. The whole tour bus, chips and salsa.
Oh no, Dave Mason. Wow. Yeah. Oh, you know some people, lady. Dang.
Yeah. He's in his earlies now, and she's just married her probably 3 years ago, Winifred, and she's all into you. She wrote a book, Road Dogs for Downward Dogs, or something. Anyways, it was super into yoga, and she posts and does yoga tours. Like they're touring. I think they're in Florida right now, but they're going all over the country in their tour. But she's an amazing woman, and love his music.
Yeah. No, we had Kenny Lee Lewis from the Steve Miller Band on here about a few months back. It was it was real nice. He was a great guy. All right, Andy, hit her with another one.
Okay, it is your night to order pizza for the group. What are we ordering?
Andy's favorite question.
It really is.
Really? So we are family divided in this house because my husband cannot stand mushrooms or black. I love them.
Okay, but this is your night to order. So you order what you want, and we have to deal with it.
All right. Well, how crazy is this? I am going to order a margarita pizza and fresh basil.
Oh,
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm in.
I want to taste all this. And I got, after all these years, we don't know each other for Christmas. Ralph got a sound bar for his big TV over here.
Yeah.
A Bose, so he could cushion, and I swear he's losing hearing, but it's a sound bar for Ralph's TV. And then I asked for a pizza oven. So,
there you go.
Once the winds start dying down here in the high desert, spring hits us, we'll be out having pizza parties.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Oh no, that's awesome.
So good.
All right, what's the better pet, cat or a dog?
Oh, a dog. I have Luigi's not here. Ralph had to take him for a ride because he just hears my phone hit the table and he thinks it's the UPS.
So spoiled dog is the more appropriate term, I guess. All right, Andy.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Okay. You're at a restaurant. You get your food. It's bad. Do you say anything?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't want to hurt any feelings, but I just go back. I just don't go back.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah. Then I'm done. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Which superpower would you not want?
To fly. I would not fly. I don't like flying.
Oh.
Yeah, it takes me forever to get on an airplane.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, then that would be bad. So there.
Yeah.
That was easy. All right, Andy.
Let me think here. I'm trying to figure out my good one. Okay.
What?
Okay. What do you do with $10 million?
Ooh. I've always told my students, and I make this announcement every year, if you win the lottery or make it big in life, just build me a kitchen I can feed people. No cost, nothing. I need to feed people. And that would be it. Build a huge kitchen and dining room that people could come and eat.
Yes. Okay. If I win $10 million,
we'll be there.
Kitchen.
Yep. We'll be there.
No. It won't take much. It's I don't know.
Yeah.
Ralph, going question of my student who's going to be a plumber, who's going to be, and when that one student, can't remember who, don't make enough money. I think I stopped at that point and said, but you know what? I said, I work 85 days a year. I get to play in clay with benefits, a great retirement. We really are missing something by not wanting to become a teacher. And I just feel so blessed and lucky. Retirement now, which has kind of been hard for me because you go 100 miles an hour and then you put the brakes on. And it took me a good 8-10 months to say it's okay to watch a movie in the afternoon, or it's okay to do something for yourself. But anyways, I don't know where I went with that.
Right.
I'm getting old.
No, that was good.
I kind of drift off.
Yes, that is the absolute best answer right there. All right, Andy, that was yours, wasn't it? Okay.
That was me.
Okay. Ice cream, cake, or pie?
Ooh, I don't like pie, and that has nothing to do with your wife's rhubarb pie. I'm just not Wait. So I'm kind of weird. I'm somebody who will go to ice store that has, a ton, and I get vanilla or I get chocolate chip.
Yeah.
So I would say it has to be a vanilla cake. And my favorite cake that I think I've ever had was in Hawaii for my 60th birthday. And they ordered a vanilla cake with custard filling, whipped cream topping, and it was amazing. It was vanilla with vanilla. Okay, throw some strawberries on it. It was good. Cake.
Yeah. No, I'm okay. Where? I need. Come on. I want. So
I'm not a chocolate person. I'm not a big chocolate person. It's weird.
Well, that's the wrong answer.
Okay, sorry. Okay, you can you can ding that one.
All right. Okay, Andy, one more.
Yeah. What's one talent that you've always wanted to possess, but has seemed to eluded you? So what's the one talent that if you could get, you would grab it as soon as it came into your view?
So I think in 1955, and a little kid till 1965, we didn't learn how to dance. So I wish I could dance. And the real desire in me, like I've seen on Facebook, these old, when you did Santana, kind of that old, I want to say, Mexican, dancing to the low riders, and or 50s bebop, or something. I just can't dance. I can't dance. Oh well.
Okay.
I can move, but I can't dance.
All right, last one. You've got 30 seconds to tell the world something. What do you say?
To be kind. Be kind. Stop the bullshit and be kind.
Yes, that's perfect. Stop the bullshit and be nice.
Yes.
There. That's all. Yeah. That's what I say at the end of every show. Be good to each other. That's all we need to do. If everybody's cool to each other, you know how much better this world would be. But
That's right.
It is what it is. So, all right. Well, damn it, Mrs. A, you were amazing, and this is awesome, and your salsa is amazing. Go to mrsaysfamous.com. You can find out where you can pick up any one of these 3 salsas. There may be some new varieties coming soon, and there may be better distribution coming soon as well. So hang tight for that, kids. But in the meantime, that's where you can find it. It's all over California, Nevada, Wyoming, and Oregon. So these are the places that you can find it. And just go to that website, and there will be a link on our webpage, at therandomchristianshow.com for it. Man, Leah, thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you from our shirts. Thank you for our delicious salsa that you sent us. This has just been too great and too much fun. I cannot thank you enough. So please come back again soon when you find out more about your new distribution and all that, or if you got new recipes that you want to tell us about and stuff like that. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a heart. I love you guys.
Yes. Oh my God.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We love you, Leah. Thank you so much. You were awesome.
Thank you, Leah. This is incredible.
Yes. Have a beautiful day, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. She's amazing.
So great.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much. Daniel finally chiming in there. All right. So, I can get rid of the random questions of insanity there. And and I've had her website down here at the bottom scrolling for anybody who is interested. And dude, I can't wait. I'm very intrigued about the mango pineapple.
Yeah, the pineapple mango. If the other ones are this good, I can't. It's a bummer that they had to discontinue it, but yeah. Oh man, if a batch gets made, I'm gonna fight tooth and nail to get one sent to me.
This one's mine. It's all mine, damn it.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, and that's going to bring us to a close.
Too close?
We're down
shutting
to
her down.
We're shutting her down.
Yeah.
Game's over. Time to go eat fajitas. And you know what that means? This sound right here means that it's time to wrap it up with the Dead Campers and the Wedge. So thank you again, Mrs. Leah Aguayo from Mrs. A's Famous Salsa Buena. Go to mrsasfamous.com to find out where you can get it and recipes and all sorts of other amazing, delicious things. Next week. Oh, let me get the graphics lined up, Chris.
Yeah.
You got to get this together here. Where is it? Where is he?
It's there. It's at the end.
Oh, there it is. There he is. Trip U-Halt is going to be on here from Oxymorons Comedy. And he's going to be so much fun. He's just fun talking to him in text messages, for God's sakes. So make sure you are here next week, Tuesday, every Tuesday, 4 o'clock Central Time, which is 2 Andy's time, which is Pacific, and 3 Mountain Time, and 4 my time, 5 Eastern Time. So there we go. And that's how we start it all off. So we will have a lot of fun with that next week. So please be here. Make sure you tell a friend, tell your neighbors, and pass the word along. Be good to each other, kids, and take care of each other. We're all we got out there. God bless you. And we thank you all so much for being a part of the show. We will see you next week. Maybe. Uh-oh.
Roll credit.
I'm trying to.